Live. All right. Welcome, ladies. Okay. Welcome, everybody, back to the channel. I'm going to also go live on TikTok here. So I'm going to get everything set up for you. Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure that everyone can hear me. Whoo! Hello? Okay, everyone can hear me. So, my YouTube family, welcome back to my live. Today is actually a very informative live, and it's really helpful for a lot of ladies because, hold on, I'm multitasking today. Let's just get into it. I have to like my own live because I love the topics I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get right with you ladies on YouTube. Give me 1 second. But today's topic is super good. So if you're a lady, you're going to love this. All right. Today, we're going to go over how to prevent painful and long periods. Okay, this is really powerful because not a lot of women have the tools and know what is going on their period and how to prevent this. Okay, because your period as a woman is the direct reflection of your health. Okay, not a lot of people walk us through. I have notes. So if you see me looking down, it's because I have notes for you guys. So for my people on TikTok, I'm also live on YouTube. So I'm like balancing two screens here. Maybe I should put you guys in the same level so it looks like I'm looking at you guys as well. Okay, so I have my notes. So we're gonna go over this. This is really powerful because as a woman, you can actually see how your health is based on how your period is. Okay, this is based on, we're going to do a lot of deep diving into the human body anatomy, all of these things. Okay, because as a woman, you should not be experiencing painful periods. That is not normal. Okay, I want you guys to also take notes because you retain more information when you take notes. So as a woman, your periods should not be painful. That is not a normal thing. It's common because of our lifestyle and our diet, also our environment, but it's not normal. As a woman, you can see directly how your gut health is based on how your periods are. So if you have periods that are longer than 4 days, okay, 4 days is pushing it. But if you have a period that's longer than 4 days, that is not normal. We've never been taught this as women. That's why it's really important to get this knowledge down. Okay. And the reason why your period should not be any longer than 4 days is because of this. Now, as women, our period doesn't just happen because, our eggs weren't fertilized and we're not pregnant. Okay. That's not the main purpose of our period. Our main purpose of our period is actually to cleanse and detox the body. So our period as a woman is how we detox. So as women, we have the luxury that our body goes through a detox every single month. Our womb is a detox pathway. Thank you so much, Lacey. I appreciate that comment. As a woman, our womb is a detox pathway. So if you have issues with your womb, that is directly related to the gut. Now, I'm going to show you this diagram of the digestive system. I'm really passionate about this, okay? I'm going to show my YouTube people first. This is your digestive system, okay? Your digestive system starts in the mouth, okay? This is where most issues happen. It starts in the mouth. For my TikTok people, this is your digestive system, okay? Starts in the mouth and it ends in your anus, okay? So whatever you eat must come out because that is your digestive system. Okay? Whatever you eat must come out. Now, in order to know that you have good gut health, it's really important because your gut is directly related to your womb health, okay? Because food must pass through the womb area in order to get out of the body. And here's the issue with a lot of women is because we're not prioritizing our gut. Now, food should only be staying in your body no longer than 72 hours. 72 hours is 3 days. Okay, our body works in threes. If you want to get rid of let's say, for example, you overindulge this holiday season, you want to get rid of the food that you ate, it should take your body no longer than 3 days to get rid of the food and to reset and detox. It shouldn't take your gut any longer than 3 days to get rid of the toxins and the foods in your body. Now, how do we know that we have good gut health? Well, I'll give you an example. Let's say you eat 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you are not pooping 3 times a day to back up these 3 meals, that is how you know that your gut health is not up to par. Okay? If you only poop once a day and you eat 3 meals a day, you're 2 bowel movements behind. If you only eat, if you eat 3 meals a day and you're pooping twice a day, you're 1 bowel movement behind. And this picks up. This is why we're having issues. This is why we're having gut health issues. This is why we're having acne. We're sluggish. This is why we're having problems with leaky gut, because all of the toxins in your body, if they're not released, they get reabsorbed into your bloodstream. This is what causes a lot of bacteria in the gut, SIBO, IBS. This is what causes leaky gut. Also, toxins that don't get released, they also reabsorb into your bloodstream. So why should your periods last 3 days? Because your gut resets itself every 3 days. And it's part of detox pathways. Your gut is actually one of the most powerful detox pathways. That's why your period should not last any longer than 3 days. If it lasts longer than 3 days, that means that other detox pathways are blocked. Now, remember what I told you. If you're not pooping after every meal, it gets reabsorbed into your bloodstream, those toxins. Now, really important, because on our period, we bleed. So if you're having heavy periods, so you're bleeding a lot, that means your body has more toxins to release. If other pathways are not opened and you're on your period as a woman, best believe all those toxins are coming out through the womb. I need you guys to like the live if this is making sense. Has anybody ever broken this down to you the way I just broke it down to you? I need some no's or some yeses in the chat. I need to know if you guys are with me, because no one has ever broken it down the way I just broke it down. I need y'all to be with me right now. Really important what I just broke down to you. Because knowledge is power. When you know this as a woman, you will understand your body. I'm going to say this again. When you know this as a woman, you will understand your body. Now, what causes cramps? I have my notes here. Now, here's the funny thing. Well, it's not funny, but here's the thing. When it comes to cramps now cramps is typically due to lifestyle and diet. Now, when we look deep into the womb and cramps, okay? And I'm going to go over at the end how to change the heavy periods, but I want to go over the foundation so you understand why. When you understand why something is happening, you have more knowledge and you're more educated on, okay, how do I actually shift it? Okay, so I have my notes here. So if you see me looking down, I have my notes because I want to make sure I'm giving you guys everything that you need. Now, there is a hormone that gets produced when you lack oxygen. Now, as a woman, if you are anemic as a woman, this is why if you have issues with your lungs is actually really important. If you're not breathing properly, you're lacking oxygen. When you lack oxygen, this can cause contractions in the uterus to feel more heavy, causing more cramps. Now, we're going to break this down a step further. Where are these cramps coming from? Why do we have cramps? Now, cramps comes from 2 things. It comes from, number 1, acid in the body. When there's acid in the uterus, when there is toxins in the uterus, when there's fibroids, if there's something blocking the flow, there's going to be some contractions, right? Think of it like a river. You put a rock, right? The water's flowing, you put a rock there, it's going to hit the rock. Okay, so I hope we're on the same page here. Some type of toxins in the body, some type of buildup of acid. Most times you'll have those heavy cramps if there's a fibroid, if there's a cyst in the uterus blocking that flow for the blood. Also, another thing that causes cramps is lack of oxygen, and lack of blood flow. What causes lack of oxygen and lack of blood flow? Number 1, we mentioned it earlier, your breathing. So it's actually important as a woman that on your period, not even just on your period, just in general, that you open up your lung pathway. So if you are a smoker, any ladies that are here that are smokers, you probably are having some cramps because when you're smoking, you're deteriorating the lung pathway. So oxygen cannot flow. So if you're a smoker, you'll probably notice, okay, I have some cramps. If you're anemic, all my anemic girlies, I talk with a lot of women, they say when they're anemic, they have long periods and they have cramps, especially the first 2 days. Okay. Yes, the blockages can be cysts. So yeah, user, there's a lot of numbers, but yes. Okay. Okay, so if you're anemic, you're smoking, if you have asthma, notice if you're a woman here that has asthma or any form of bronchitis or any mucus in the lungs. We don't talk about the lungs. Okay, the lungs helps with how much oxygen is stored and how much oxygen gets distributed throughout the body. So if you're not breathing correctly, if you have heavy mucus, okay, that causes painful periods. You're a smoker, you're anemic. A lot of anemic women experience a lot of cramps. Okay, if you have cysts, if you have fibroids, that blocks the flow, causing cramps. Now, when you have lack of oxygen, what happens is that it causes muscles in the uterus to contract. When they contract, that's where we get that pain. Okay? We get the pain. So how do we counteract this? We're going to bring this up further. I have my notes here. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Now, there is a hormone that gets triggered when oxygen gets low. This hormone is called prostaglandins or prostaglandins. Okay? Hard to pronounce, but to break it down here, this increases inflammation. When inflammation rises, lack of oxygen and blood flow increases. This causes the pain, and this causes the cramps. Okay? Also, when inflammation rises, this also affects nerve sensitivity. So this makes you more sensitive. So you feel the cramps, has any woman ever like, oh, I just feel like, I feel that like, I can tell where the blood, I can just tell where everything is in my body. I can tell where the blood is. I can tell when I'm going to have my period. I feel everything. Drop in the chat if that's you. You can just feel it. Like, oh, I know it's going to come tomorrow. Or I know it's going to come in a couple hours. I feel it. Because I've definitely had that experience where I just feel it. I know exactly where it is. Yes. Because when this hormone increases, it causes more nerve sensitivity. This is what causes the cramps to hurt more. You feel it more. Because when you throw up on your period, your body's detoxing. So this is actually a good sign. When you throw up on your period, that's actually a sign that the food in your body, right? Because remember, your period is a detox. It's a detox pathway. It's how your body detoxes. So if you're throwing up on your period, that tells me that the food in your body is staying stagnant and it's not being broken down. And your period kickstarts a detoxification. So all that food that should not be in your body, that hasn't digested in the body, that has not been metabolized, will come out the same way it came in, so through the mouth. So that's normally why women throw up on their period. Because your period is your detox. That's your body detoxing every single month. So as women, we actually have the privilege to detox and reset our body every single month. We just don't know how to do it. I'm going to teach you how to do it. Okay? I'm going to teach you how to do it. Now, your womb is a reflection of your gut. So you can actually tell where your gut health is at. Now, if you're not pooping after your meals, you're bloated, you're feeling sluggish, you're tired, that's going to reflect into your womb health. Now, if you have a lot of yeast in the gut, a lot of bacteria, it will show in the womb. This will look like UTIs, yeast infection, some type of smell, especially if you're not having good gut. So if you're having imbalance of yeast bacteria in the gut, it will show through the womb what comes out. Because remember, like my diagram I was showing you guys, your Digestion starts in here and it ends here. So it is not good. It's going to pass the womb and you will know what gunk is in your body. So if you ever had a yeast infection, UTI, a BV, anything smelling down there, it is due to your gut. But no one has ever told us this. So it's really powerful. Whatever is happening down there is a direct correlation to your gut. Okay, now I have my notes because I want to make sure that you guys are taking notes as well. Should I just drop something? Oh my God. Okay, so how do we prevent cramps? How do we do this? Now, first things first, opening up the gut pathway. How do we do this? Through diet. Now, the best diet to avoid cramps, okay, is going to be high fruits and vegetables. You want to make sure, like we mentioned earlier, you want to give oxygen to your body. You don't want to take oxygen away from your body. So if you are a woman that starts your breakfast or you're breaking your fast with fried food that's fried, so fried egg, you're having toast, pancakes, all of these heavy foods, that is a no. You never want to have or break your fast with cooked food. This is a big mistake because you're playing an energy game. When you're dealing with your gut, you're dealing with energy. Remember, most of our energy gets utilized in our metabolism. That's where energy is created. Excuse me. And we are energy beings, right? Energy is motion. So if we're just stagnant, okay, we're not moving. So all of our energy gets created in the gut. So it wouldn't be smart to break your fast with foods that are overly processed. So they're cooked. There's no water. There's no oxygen in the food, right? Think of eating like an investment, okay? Because it is. It takes energy to make energy. And when I break it down like this, you're going to have this aha moment like, oh, shoot, I haven't really been eating the best for my body, okay? Think of food like an investment. It takes energy to make energy. If you're utilizing energy to make energy, right, you're investing, you want to make sure that you're using your energy, but you're going to yield more energy in return, right? I would love for me to use my energy so I can get more energy, not use my energy to get less energy. So that is why it's so important to break your fast with hydrating foods, because it gives you hydration, but it also gives you oxygen and it's giving your body life. It's not processed. It's yielding you more energy. So berries, fruits, that is the best way to break your fast, especially if you're on your period. Berries have one of the highest amount of antioxidants. It's one of the best foods for your pituitary gland, which is really responsible for most of your hormones. Most of your hormones get produced in the head. Okay, so if you're having hormonal imbalance, we gotta look in your lymphatic system, in your brain, in your head, because that's where most of your hormones get produced, in the head. And I was telling my clients earlier today, I was like, you can actually balance it's very, very, very effective. You can actually balance your hormones with frequency. Your brain resonates at a certain frequency. Your brain and your hormones are your body's messengers. And this all comes from the gut. The gut is like the phone, and the brain is picking up what the gut is saying and conceptualizing it and then sending that message to all of the other organs and systems in your body. It's very powerful that we understand this. Your brain picks up on the message of the gut. So if the gut's messed up, the brain's messed up. If there's yeast and bacteria in the gut, the brain's like, oh no. And then that's how your hormones get produced based on what's happening in here. The brain conceptualizes what happens in here. All of your emotions stem from the gut. This is why when we get scared, we get the butterflies in our stomach. It doesn't come from the brain, comes from here. Your brain labels it based on conditioning. So I say all this to say you can actually balance your hormones listening to certain frequencies. So I was telling my clients, listening to certain frequencies, you can even Google this on YouTube. You can search up hormone balancing frequencies and listen to that before you go to bed, when your theta waves are activated, or before you wake up or get out of bed when those theta waves are active. So it's really powerful. Okay, so that's step number one. But going back to the original step number one, diet. We're not eating the right foods, and we don't know how to eat. We've been trained to eat a heavy breakfast. I can tell you what you had for breakfast this morning. You probably had eggs, bacon, bread, toast, avocado, thinking it's healthy, and then orange juice. No, this is why we're crashing throughout the day. This is why we're having the cramps. This is why we're lacking oxygen. This is why we're not absorbing nutrients from our food. This is why you have to take millions and trillions of supplements when supplementing doesn't even make sense, because if you're not absorbing nutrients from your food, what makes you think you're going to absorb it from the supplement without cleansing the gut? Guys, okay. So, diet plays a big role. 80% 80% fruits, 20% vegetables. If you truly want to heal the cramps, you need to make sure that you're high raw fruits and vegetables. This is really crucial. There's no ifs, ands, and buts on this one. It's diet. Because remember, everything starts from the mouth. A lot of people get this confused. They think disease comes outside. No, disease comes within. What triggers disease and virus happens from your environment. Did you know most viruses and diseases stay dormant in the body until it's activated by temperatures, through different diets, lifestyle? That's what pulls the trigger on the toxins and the viruses that are already within from your poor gut. So it's really important that you 80% fruits, 20% vegetables. That's why I always tell my clients, you always break your fast with fruit. Like, I give them a whole meal plan, how to break your fast, what fruits to pair together, what fruits not to pair together. Now, if you're a woman on your period, you want to break your fast with berries. So strawberries, blueberries, mulberries, goji berries, all berries are welcome. Chaseberry, pulsomato, like berries are the healers, because it also helps with your nervous system. Remember how we said when you get cramps, your nerves are extra sensitive. So you really want to make sure that you're eating your berries, especially on your period. Now, the third thing that you want to do, the second thing that you want to do, is you want to increase things like beets. So if you're anemic, beets are really good. So you can do beets. Also pickles. Now you want to make sure that you pickle them yourself, or you're getting your pickles from the fridge aisle, not the dry aisle. Because with pickles, you want to make sure that it is fermented. Fermentation is good gut bacteria. Now, in order to have good gut bacteria and have healthy bacteria, you want to make sure that that bacteria is living. So you're not going to find living bacteria in the dry aisle. You're going to find it in the fridge to preserve its life. So you want to make sure that you're eating pickles that are either you pickle them yourself or you're getting them from the fridge aisle. Okay, things like dark leafy greens, those are high in magnesium. Magnesium helps relax the muscles. Remember, when you have contractions, your muscles are not, of course, relaxing, they're contracting. Anytime you contract, friction, pain. So dark leafy greens, things high in magnesium. So coconut water, the jelly from the coconut, like the coconut fat, the skin. You want to eat that. But coconut water is my favorite. Coconut milk is good as well. But you don't want to have coconut milk when you're particularly trying to detox. So if you're trying to detox and lose waste, you don't want to have coconut milk. But coconut water with those electrolytes, the potassium, the magnesium, that's really going to help. Okay, especially if you're someone right now that's not pooping after their meals, that's typically a sign that you're not absorbing nutrients. So I feel like someone's going to ask me about like magnesium supplements. The main thing right now, if you're not pooping let's say you have 3 meals a day, if you're not pooping 3 times a day, we got to work on your gut, because if you're not absorbing nutrients, you can't eliminate them. So if you're not pooping after your meals, that means that you're not absorbing them in the first place. So we got to work on fixing the gut, cleansing that up before we can supplement. So my favorite way to get magnesium is through coconut water. Remember, water breaks up stagnation. So water is going to help flush things out the body. It's going to help calm down those muscles, relax the muscles, so you're not having these heavy contractions. Okay. It also helps as well if you're like, you're pregnant as well and you're having contractions. That really helps, because I feel like someone's going to ask about that too. Now, third thing I said like two numbers at once. Third thing, I don't even know what number we're on. Whatever. Next thing you want to do is here's a life hack. If you have a humidifier, or if you simply just have essential oils, what you want to do, let's pretend this is this essential oil, right? My favorite essential oil to use is peppermint. Why? Peppermint helps oxygenate the blood. It brings oxygen to the body. It helps oxygen flow throughout the body. Now, what did we say in the beginning? In the beginning, we mentioned that low oxygen count causes some of that pain and the cramps. So one of the ways to help boost your oxygen into the blood is through sniffing peppermint. Okay, so if you have a essential oil, you want to go like this and keep sniffing. Sniffing peppermint, even eucalyptus, you can sniff that as well. Really powerful to help increase your oxygen. If you are anemic, you want to hit this as well. It's going to be really powerful. It helps calm the mind. It's great for mental clarity, great to relax, but it's also really good for bringing oxygen to the body. Remember, if you are lacking oxygen into the cells, someone's laughing. It's funny, I know, but you really need to be sniffing it like it's something, But yes, you want to make sure that you are sniffing peppermint, or if you have a humidifier, drop some of that into your humidifier and let that steam hit you, because that's really going to help you when it comes to the oxygen and having oxygen flow throughout the cells. Okay. Now, another thing that's really going to help with the cramps in particular. So let's say you're on your period right now and it's cramp central. You want to have fennel seeds or fennel powder. Now, I prefer the powder because I put it in my smoothies with my berries. So you can have this for breakfast, okay? Because remember, breakfast is always going to be your fruits. In order to avoid cramps, you want to make sure you set your body up for success, right? So fruits yield the most energy. So breakfast is always going to be some type of like fruit smoothie or something. So I like to make a smoothie with my berries. I do my blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, and then I put fennel powder into my smoothies. I do this every single day. It's a part of my supplementing. I do this because it's not really a supplement, but that's what I use every single day. It helps with bloating. It helps soothe the digestive tract. It helps soothe the uterus lining. It helps soothe any muscle pain and any tight contractions. And ever since then, I've not experienced any pain when it comes to eating. Most times you experience pain when it comes to eating, once again, I mentioned, because of that lack of oxygen. Most people who are anemic as well experience a lot of pain when they're eating. Because of that oxygen, we need to increase that. So these things are really going to help. Also, as well, stomach acid plays a big role too when it comes to cramps. So one of the ways to really help with some of the cramping is to regulate that stomach acid. Now, if you have low stomach acid, which means you are probably very bloated, you have low immunity, you're not absorbing nutrients from your food, you're not pooping after your meals, that's typically low stomach acid. So one of the ways to help with that is adding lemon into your meal. So doing a squeeze of lemon into every single meal. Okay. Lemon is really important, not lime, but lemon, because of its chemical component. Lemon helps with boosting hydrochloric acid, which is stomach acid. Okay, it mixes really well with your natural stomach acid and it helps boost it. So your stomach is able to break down your food and actually absorb nutrients and utilize them and eliminate them. Okay, I know there's a lot of information, but I hope you guys are writing this down because you'll retain it more. So that's step number, whatever step we're on. Okay, I forgot. Now, we want to do the fennel. Now, another thing that really helps with cramps, this is my favorite herb, and I know you guys have seen me and heard me speak about it from the moment I started this page. Bless Thistle. She is the GOAT. And I'm calling her a she because she does it all, literally. Bless Thistle. I take this as well in my smoothies as a powder. This is going to help, number one, with your digestion, with your absorption. Okay, that's the main thing. Most diseases happen because your body cannot absorb, utilize, and eliminate. If your body could absorb, utilize, and eliminate properly, disease would not happen, because that's literally your immune system. your immune system is, can you eliminate toxins? Yes or no? If you can't, disease is stuck in the body. Okay, so blessed thistle is really good for that. It also helps with balancing hormones. It is a bitter, so this is going to help with blood sugar levels, insulin. It's going to help you lose weight as well. It's going to help boost and secrete natural digestive enzymes. I think of blessed thistle like natural digestive enzymes. There, that's literally what I see it as. Okay, so that's number next. I don't know. Number next. I don't know. Okay, now, 2 things to also increase. Pomegranates are really good on your period. It helps with any pain, any issues with heavy bleeding. That's going to help. Pomegranate. You can do pomegranate juice. You can juice this naturally or get the natural organic pomegranate juice. No sugar, just 100% pomegranates. So check the ingredients. Make sure it says 100% pomegranates. Okay, pomegranates are amazing. I made a video on this. The video is like 2 years old now, but pomegranates help with cramps. It helps relax the muscles. It helps with blood flow. So it's making sure that it's also cleansing the blood. The reason why pomegranates are so powerful because it cleanses the blood. And this is what we need, because if the blood is not cleansed prior to it getting out the womb, this is where we can get the heavy bleeding, even the blood clots, all that stuff, and the shedding of the liner, all that stuff. Okay. All that stuff. Okay. Now, next, movement. Movement is really important. Remember, movement also breaks up stagnation. Movement also helps increase oxygen. Remember, cramps happen when oxygen is not flowing in the body, causes that constriction and that pain. So you need to be moving the body. This is why exercising is number 1. You want to make sure that you are exercising the body, moving. So this could be doing some type of like Pilates, doing some type of yoga, doing some type of lymphatic exercises, like the jumping I tell you ladies to do, the slapping I tell you ladies to do. Lymphatic movement is powerful. If you're not quite sure where to start, I mean, I do have my own lymphatic thing, like my lymphatic exercises, but you can also go on YouTube and search up lymphatic exercises and choose the ones that you're willing to do. That's a good place to start. But lymphatic movement is your best friend. I wouldn't recommend just simply walking. That's not enough. Walking is not enough. We walk every day. Our body is immune to this. You need to do something that's going to trigger the body. So yoga, doing certain yoga positions, Pilates, this is going to help move the body. I wouldn't say strength training because that's more like you're moving, but it's building up the muscles, building up the body versus moving the body somatically. That's really powerful. Okay. So that's number next. Okay. Now, lastly, this is really powerful when it comes to the cramps. Now, heat. Heat is also another thing that opens up pathways and it relaxes the body. It moves things out of the body. Heat, that kinetic energy, it creates movement. So one of the things that you can do if you're having cramps is, yes, you can do a heating pad if you have that, but what's more powerful than a heating pad? Steam. Steam, heat. Very, very powerful. So what I tell my ladies to do is get a towel. You can boil the water, boil hot water until it boils. Put the towel in the water. You can get oven mitts so you're not burning yourself. Drain some of the excess water from the towel. Now that it's steaming hot, place it on your lower belly. Place it on the lower belly. You can tie it around the lower belly and let it sit there for minimum 10 minutes. This is going to help open up that path. It's going to help with the cramps. It's going to help open up the liver, get the liver started. It's going to help with the kidneys. It's going to help with majority of your digestive organs, which is liver, kidneys, pancreas, all of that stuff. It's really going to help move your gut and open up the gut pathway. Remember, heat breaks up stagnation. Heat gets things moving. Heat turns on the vehicle. And the vehicle is your body. So heat is going to stimulate your body. It's going to help relax those muscles. It's also going to help give more oxygen. Because remember, Heat, especially if you burnt yourself or you're heated up, more oxygen, more blood flow. Anytime you're heated up, you have heat in the body, more oxygen, more blood flow. Okay? More oxygen, more blood flow. More oxygen, more blood flow. Okay. I think I covered everything. Also, stress causes more pain, but I'm sure we're aware of that. So one of the ways to help with stress, ding, 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 breath work. Also, opening up your lungs. I'm going to go over that a little bit more with you guys. Opening up your lungs is really powerful. Your lungs play a big, big role when it comes to your hormones, when it comes to how much oxygen is being distributed throughout the body, which relates right back to the cramps that you're experiencing. I have never broken this down. Thank you guys for the likes, by the way. I have never broken this down the way I've broken this down. A lot of you guys, this is newer information because nobody talks about this. No one talks about the woman body like this. Okay. We've been taught, oh, just take an Advil, take painkillers. We don't need that. That doesn't do anything for the body because the pain is going to keep on coming back. Like, how many years have you been using the painkillers and not actually seeing real change? I want us to sit with that. How long are you going to keep on using painkillers until you really see a change? This is why I'm teaching you women these tactics or these tools, because it's super powerful. So one of the things that's really crucial is that, especially on your period when you're experiencing cramps, breath work, because it relaxes the muscles. When the muscles are relaxed, there's no pain in the contractions. There's no pain in the cramps. Because breathe in, you breathe out CO2, you breathe out the toxins, you breathe in oxygen, and it gets distributed throughout the whole entire body through the blood. I think of the blood like a car, right? It's like you're driving around. Where's the destination? The destination is the cells, right? So I think of the blood as the car and the destination as the cells. This is why your blood and making sure your blood is cleansed is really powerful. Not a lot of people understand when you are detoxing, the number one thing you want to prioritize always is the blood, because life is in the blood, nutrients is in the blood, oxygen is in the blood, everything is getting transferred through the blood. That is the circulatory system. Everything is getting transferred through the blood. Think of the blood like a car. We got to go to point A to point B. The blood is going to take you there. So this is why when you're detoxing, you need to make sure your diet is right. Dark leafy greens cleanse the blood. You want to make sure that you're constantly doing dark leafy greens. You're doing your parsley. You're doing whatever you can to cleanse the blood. Big mistake. Also, metabolic waste gets transferred to your blood. Okay, and you have about 150 trillion cells. Now, your cells are mini versions of you. And I don't know about you guys, I got many versions of me in here. I love me so much that I could never feed myself poison. I could never feed myself processed food because I have 150 trillion mini-me's. Okay? I got all these mini-me's in here and I cannot feed it garbage because our 150 trillion cells, they don't have the luxury to get up and have or make a meal like we do. So it's up to us to feed our cells what it needs. And remember, your cells are not getting the salad as a whole. It's getting the byproduct of the salad or the byproduct of the food that you're eating. So if you're eating processed food that's already been through its own metabolic process and there's no nutrients in the food, so guess what your cells are eating? It's eating junk. And this is why we're having the issues that we're having. So I don't know about you guys, but I do not want to feed my cells junk. Now, who's with me? Who's with me? Just put yes in the chat. Who's with me? Who's with me? Who's with me? Who's with me? Anyways, sorry, my YouTube people are going crazy. Who's with me? Are you with me? Okay. I'm going to answer questions in a bit. But yes, guys, that's why it's really important to know what you're putting into your body. Okay. And once again, I always say this, you don't know what you don't know. But now that you know, you can make an educated decision. So don't beat yourself up for all the processed food that you were eating and you didn't know. Now that you know, you can make that decision. So I challenge you. Now that you're aware of what this does to your actual body, what choices are you going to make now that you have this information? Because yes, knowledge is power, knowledge is key, but it's what you do with the information. And I hope this helps. Okay. Drop in the chat for my YouTube people, for my TikTok people. Was this live helpful for you? I hope you guys took some notes, but I pretty much finished off what I wanted to say. This is very, very powerful. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. Was this helpful for you guys? Okay. I'm going to answer some questions. Also, for my YouTube people, if you guys have questions, let me know. Also, I don't think I'm like giving one person more, like not one person, but one app more attention than the other. I think I'm balancing it out beautifully. So for my YouTube people, you can drop in the chat live if you have any questions. Also, you will have access to the playback. So if you're watching this as a regular YouTube video, you can drop it in the comments and I can answer them. Words today. I don't know why my words are being fumbled a little bit, but hopefully you guys can understand me. Yes, I'm glad this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me go back and see if there's any questions that I have missed. Yes, someone said divinity is our femininity. I love that. What do you mean by if you don't breathe properly? That's a good question. Now, when I say you're not breathing properly, now, how many of you guys actually know how to properly take a breath? Okay. When I say breathing properly, I mean breathing through your diaphragm. Like, look at my stomach when I'm breathing. Also, there's MJ on my shirt. But like, you want to make sure when you breathe, your chest expands. It expands, you hold it, right? Your chest, your diaphragm lifts, and then you contract. So you should be doing like a mini sit-up. That's how you should be breathing, right? Even if you're just doing little breaths, your body should expand and retract. That's how you properly breathe to get oxygen and to get your lungs open so that you can bring in more oxygen. Because if you're not breathing like that, you're not bringing in enough oxygen, which means you're lower on the oxygen count. So it's really important to, if you're not breathing properly, to be more conscious of it and do your breath work. So that's me being more dramatic about it. But essentially, when you breathe, you should see your chest expand and contract. That's what I mean. Okay, someone asked, you don't eat sugar. So I do not do any white sugar, cane sugar, brown sugar. I only do my fructose and my carbohydrates from my fruits, which is natural carbohydrates that our body needs. So I do fructose from fruits. So I don't do anything additional. Now, when it comes to sweeteners, I do maple syrup because it doesn't spike blood sugar or insulin. And that's the best sweetener to use is maple syrup. Okay, someone said I've always had bad cramps since I was young. Well, I hate to break it to you, but it could be the lifestyle, the foods, the diet, and what you've been doing since you were young. But hopefully I'm pretty sure this covered some things for you that you can add in there. So hopefully that helps. Okay, someone mentioned juice fast for gut. Now, here's the thing with a juice fast, you guys. A lot of people are not, they're just going straight into a juice fast. Now, you can't do that because you want to make sure that, like I mentioned, your pathways are open. Because if you go straight into a juice fast and you don't know how to break the fast, or you don't know how to get off of the fast so that you're not making or causing more harm to your body, then that's going to ultimately do more harm to your body. So before you even do a fast, you have to open up your pathways. Now you have 8 detox pathways. You have your brain, you have your lungs, like I mentioned, you have your liver, your kidneys, even your skin, your lymphatic system, your blood, and your womb as a woman, right? And if those pathways are not open, then the toxins that you're releasing from the juice fast is going to stay stagnant into the body. This is why we see when women detox, or even, I'm not sure if you're a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. But that's why we see when people detox, they get acne, they get rashes, they get skin issues, they're more inflamed, they're more puffy, they have more of those detox symptoms, is because they're not opening up their detox pathways. This is why it's really important to do that. Some people, they will get online and say, oh, just do a juice fast for this many days. They don't tell you what juice is best for your body. You're not aware of how to open up your pathways, and that can cause more harm than good because toxins are not getting out of the body. Remember, you want toxins to get out of the body, not stay in the body. Okay, someone said, I'm iron deficient. As soon as I'm on iron intake, sorry, so let me read that again. I'm iron deficient. As soon as I'm on iron intake, that bowel movement is dry. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend any iron tablets that they give you because there's so many side effects that are not worth it. Now, what I would suggest, if you're low on iron, pretty much everything that I just went through, you need, number one, if you're low on iron, it is your stomach acid. It's not because you're not having any food that doesn't have iron. It's because you're not absorbing it. I can tell you right now, you're probably doing everything to have iron, but you're not absorbing it. So I don't know if you were here when I mentioned, you want to make sure, number one, in order to absorb more nutrients from your food, you are adding in lemon into your meal. So every single meal, squeeze some lemon, not lime, but lemon, because it activates your hydrochloric acid. So you're able to absorb more nutrients from your food. That alone will help you absorb iron. If you're not doing that, then the iron pills, you're not really absorbing them. And it's just like another byproduct. So adding lemon to your meals is really going to help. Also, things like beets, pomegranates, that's really going to help with the iron. So you want to do rich, dark leafy greens, beet juice, pomegranate juice. Those things are really powerful to help with the iron. Also, cleansing the blood is going to help because the blood is really powerful. Why is there a bug in here? The blood is really powerful. When you cleanse the blood, you can actually transfer those nutrients. So what could be happening here is that, number one, you're not absorbing them, but number two, they're not being transferred to the cells, which is quote unquote low iron. Also, as well, if you're having low iron, this is just like something that could be happening. Anytime when you're mineral deficient, this is also related to a parasite. Okay, because parasites, what they do, especially even yeast bacteria in the gut, it actually strips your nutrients from your body. So if you're noticing that you're lacking a lot of other minerals, it could be linked to a parasite, which is going to be taking away from your minerals, which it could look like you're mineral deficient. Doesn't mean you're not eating food with that mineral. It means that there's a parasite involved. So first things first, though, I would say is adding lemon to your meals and increasing your beets, your pomegranates, dark leafy greens. Parsley is really good for the blood as well. Okay, someone asked me. Someone asked, how does oil of oregano replace Ozempic? It replaced, oh my God, this burp, so sorry. It replaces Ozempic because it produces a hormone called GLP-1, which is the same hormone that Ozempic tries to mimic. But this one is natural because it's being produced by your own body and there's not any harmful side effects. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, if you guys research Ozempic, they're getting a lot of lawsuits. Now, oil of oregano helps produce your GLP-1. It helps regulate blood sugar and insulin. It also helps with your hunger hormone. So it helps you feel full longer. So you're able to absorb the nutrients from the food that you're currently eating and convert that into energy without you overeating. Okay. It also is antibacterial, antiparasitic. It's also really good to help with yeast. So if you have cravings, this is going to help if you crave like sweet sugar cakes. Very, very powerful, and it's better than Ozempic. So I would look into that more as well. Okay, if you have high blood pressure, we're dealing with the kidneys. Kidneys. So if you have high blood pressure, this can also look like water retention, swollen wrists, swollen ankles, kidney. So with this, the main thing with high blood pressure, it's always red meats. So you're probably doing some red meats. You're doing a lot of protein, like the heavy meats, dairy. That's what it looks like. So anytime you have high blood pressure, parsley is good. Also cloves. Cloves help lower blood pressure. But I would look into the diet because you're probably doing a lot of meats. Okay, if your daughter is going through painful trapped gas, you need to open up those pathways. Now, I would say DM me, but if your daughter is going through gas that's trapped in the gut, we got to open up those pathways. Now, one of the ways that you can do this naturally at home, as of right now, is that fennel was really going to help. Now, most foods that cause gas, sometimes cruciferous vegetables cause gas, improper food combination causes gas because it causes trapped acid in the body. So I would look into the diet, and I would also look into fennel to help get that trapped gas out of the body. And I also need to check her stomach acid because it could be an issue with stomach acid. She could have high stomach acid. So there's a little factors there. I don't know. You can also DM me because I think that would help. I have belly pain. What can I do for it? It depends on what this belly pain is from. I need a bit more context. Also for you, Nisha, I know TikTok sometimes when you comment something, it may not allow you to elaborate. DM me because it depends on the belly pain, what this pain is, where the pain is in the belly, what the pain is like, then I can advise. Yes, is egg diet bad when you're on your period? You never want to do when you're on your period. The best diet to be on, especially to help, because one of the things that we need as women is that we need magnesium. So we want to make sure we're increasing magnesium rich food. So that's avocados, that's coconut water, that's our nuts, that's our fruits, that's our seeds. Pumpkin seeds are really good. I wouldn't necessarily do eggs because that can also cause more harm than good. Okay, someone asked me a good question. I'm gonna head off soon, but someone asked me a good question. Why does meat heal some people and some stay off of it? Because it's when we're dealing with meat, it's a genetic thing. A lot of these things are genetic. So where you grow up. So if you grow up more up north where it's cold and you don't have fresh vegetation, then your body's gonna depend more on those meats to get your nutrients. Now, if you're someone who lives near the equator where there's fruits, there's vegetation, then your body's going to lean more towards that. So if you're someone that looks like me, then you ideally do not want to do meat because it shows that you are more susceptible for issues with meat because your body is genetically made to be near the equator, near the sun. So you need more vegetation, more fruits, and more vegetables to put it into short terms. But it is a genetic thing. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. This live has been amazing. Yeah, I appreciate and honor every single one of you guys. I love every single one of you guys. I do have a holiday gut reset that's still available for the holidays because I know Christmas is coming up, the New Year's is coming up. So if you guys want to know how to open up your detox pathways, how to really cleanse that for your body, or if you're having any issues with, your period, cramps, or anything like that, you can DM me holiday or DM me with any of your questions that you have so that I can see if I can help. But I do have a holiday reset where I go over detox rituals, meal plans, how to pair your foods. Also, you will get a weight loss plan and a plan on balancing your hormones and the adrenals. So, most women that are in the holiday reset are losing 10 to 20 pounds each month and they're keeping it off. Okay. And you also get check ins with me. So, you get one on one sessions with me to ensure that you are on the right track. So if this is something that you are wanting to dive into for the holidays, then DM me. DM me. My DMs are open. So have any questions, make sure to DM me so I can help you. All right. So don't forget to DM me. And yes, I'm going to end it for my YouTube people as well. I'll see you guys. Bye. And then for my TikTok people,